All right, you'll get a kick out of this! I shall return. I shall return. I shall return.
Your manners!
I shall return. I shall return. I shall return. I shall return.
You got spooked! We almost have it all.
free refills on Foot Punch.
Hey, I'm just a kid.
My knife, your life.
Jump up and get down!
Ice doesn't bother me.
Dynamite!
saw it really go against a team like Loud yesterday with the Frank and the El Primo. So now Amber does make quite a statement in that regard, but they're going to double down for themselves. Frank, B is still here. It's not bad. It could be very much on the side of SK Gaming here, but the Chester, like I said at the beginning now, has a definite place to be picked.
Chester is such a reliable mid-range damage option. I feel like he fills a similar niche at the moment as Griff without the wall break potential. But another hypercharge that also is kind of what catapulted him back into ubiquity. Still some time in for SK. This is where they round their draft out. So they need an answer for the Frank, as you alluded to. And there it is, the El Primo. I felt like it's been a little bit underexplored, but against Frank, so powerful. He has multiple ways of disrupting Frank as he's winding up for that super. He can suplex the guy, or he can land his own people's elbow with his super. That little knock-up is really important against Frank, who really needs to be undisturbed. Obviously, Frank can tech into this, take the kind of gadget that would, remove the ability to see him in a window, and there's that B. Crazy to see it picked up at third and last for SK Gaming.
I do love the El Primo. I feel like there are still counters available for Toxic Lotus if they do want to double down on this Primo, which I suggest they do. Bank that Chester. It's going to be their best bet. Or Nita wouldn't be a bad shout into Primo either. It's an option for them to consider for Toxic Lotus here. But so much thought has got to go into this. It's got to be a winning yet. I mean, Nita, I don't mind it. Bruce with the hypercharge, got a lot of push back potential. But in overtime, what are you going to be doing with Nita? Into a B. You're going to be able to stay primarily on that Primo the entire time, but the speed, the heals of Jae-Young, it's a heavy consideration here.
I mean, Ark, the DPS for SK Gaming's comp is actually pretty low. B is amazing, of course, in a singles target context, but trying to deal with these big bodies, 2 tanks in theory, plus Bruce the Bear on the map, that's really awkward for B. It's going to have to be a masterclass for presumably Joker, but whoever is going to be on that brawler to really get big value off of that. It's going to be Ope instead in mid on the B. Joker's taking up Primo duty.
Nice right-hand side lane cleanup, but Joker has found some space and might be able to walk this all the way. So Nita's got the DPS to take care of it and doesn't hesitate to land a 16-second goal.
You have to respect the Primo here. Joker is not going to give you a moment of rest. If you allow him to walk up like that, you are conceding a goal. Oh, what a suplex. OU flattens. Brilliant stuff there from Joker. Gives himself up in the trade. Bruce is a concern, though. He's dealt with. Engine is healthy enough to potentially walk this in himself. Oh, so close. No connector when SK can clear the ball to the corner. And now, the classic SK Gaming strat to slow the game down when they have the lead is in play.
Joker's feeling himself, and I'm here for it. Massively slow, but a nice shutdown this time from Engine as Bruce Bear come there with the helping hand. And if OU can creep forward as he is now, hypercharging just the right time though for OPE. It's going to get slowed. Jae-Young there on the left-hand side of Yoshi, securing the kill as well. Another hypercharge. The Toxic Lotus coming in. A big, beefy Bruce, but the time to have to take care of him.
You see that Weekend Warrior gadget for Yoshi is so important here. He knows there are moments where he needs to amp up his damage just to try and cut through some of these tanks. And remember, his shots do pierce. So if Toxic Lotus line up like that for him, it's a ton of value to be gotten. Another rattled hive. OP's had some brilliant ones so far, and that's another chunk on top. And that just turns into more map control for SK.
Joker now has that hypercharge. It's going to be devastating onto this Frank. The timing's going to be right, and it was easy for Joker, dare I say it. Nice throw of the shoulder as well. Going to be sucked in, but cycling to perfection now. The Bruce gadget, just the nick of time there for Engine. But again, it is Toxic Lotus that are behind. They need a goal, and there's only 30 seconds now to do so.
Bro, these rattled hives are something different. Ope has got massive value off each of these gadgets. There's a reason why they don't make brawlers with gadgets that just give them 6,000 damage. Because it's a little bit broken, it's a little bit busted. He's able to find ways to make use of it. OU there, suplex yet again. Joker Man is all over this. Hits it from the top rope. And now with only 10 seconds left in the round, Toxic Lotus simply do not have the time to take possession of the ball and convert a goal. OU knows it. He's trying to free it, but with 1 second left in the game and nobody can touch it, it's SK Gaming. Move to advantage in this decider set.
A 16-second goal and a pocket of the ball. This is the SK Gaming that we know and love over the years. The tried and tested strategy that is their own. And it might be the downfall of Toxic Lotus here, but they can't get it under control.
Ball has not left its spot in the middle of the map here as both teams only have eyes for one another. Joker wants to play close. Pressure on top would be nice, but does get burned down. That's the risk of trying to fight that Amber, and OU is threatening here. Who's going to have the damage to get rid of the Frank? Yoshi steps into the middle of the map. He knows he needs to fight against the Nita, and Yoshi takes matters into his own hands. Paves the way for SK Gaming now to move up into an attacker's role.
Such a key point there for Yoshi to land that shot, to get that takedown, because OU was looking dangerous, full HP, advancing on SK Gaming's goal. A simple pass, and it could have put them behind. So he had to ensure it. Joker now with the super on the right-hand side, looking probably for OU on the left. Crossing there over now, and does find two. Gets the shot. The fire burn is there as well, but OU survives just for a little bit of time. For now, it's going to be OP and Engine in this middle, dancing it out at a great slow. Just enough time to allow his teammates to get back in the mix, and Joker lands a heavy hit into the mid.
I'm glad OP had the fortitude and the presence of mind to pop his super there. The slow buys time for the reinforcements to arrive. OU's got to corner the ball, but Joker doesn't care too much about that right now. Engine wants to go and dig it out. This is risky. He's really exposed himself here to Joker, who'll flatten him. Tox in trouble, desperately trying to clear the ball. OU comes in with a hypercharged super and Joker gets fired again. The guy is unreal. And SK Gaming one step away from a grand finals appearance here at Brawl Cup.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning from Joker. He's all over this game, but he goes down now. It's going to put a lot of pressure onto Yoshi, into OPE for this defense. Talk there, a nice spread of the map. The hypercharge goes down, but as does OU. And again, without a single goal seen yet from Toxic Lotus, they've got...
Surgically extracting one brawler after another with these long-range shots. And there's still 23 seconds left to play, Ark. They are getting awfully close. They are threatening. Yoshi finds that damage on Engine here, and he goes down. Tox soon to fall, and this could be it, folks. The curtain call for Toxic Lotus. Joker's blocked it. And for SK Gaming, this is just another bump in the road.
Of the Brawl Cup is EMEA, and it's SK Gaming. Let's hear it for them. Joker, the dominant run continues. In the video leading up to that match, we saw that Toxic Lotus was saying they didn't really know a huge amount about the region's play styles that they were going to come up against. But I guess the same goes for you, right? So were you guys learning on the fly, and were you studying their gameplay yesterday?
Yeah, honestly, we had no idea what they wanted to go. They surprised us in the first 3 sets, So in the fourth and fifth set, what we did is we changed completely our bans. We had bans prepared for the match, but we changed them completely to just ban their tanks and their heal comps. And yeah, it worked out.
It did work out.
final. But again, when it comes to those results that matter, it's been a while since Zeta have been first in that regard. So today really is going to be a testament, and as a squad that really want to bring home a world final slot for their home region, they're going to be giving it their all.
They faced up against SK Gaming yesterday, the first EMEA team. Now it's up against Humble. And as we mentioned, they share 4 World Championship titles, Shetampo on one hand, and then the whole team of Humble on the other hand.
Yeah, that's a great point, I guess. There's a lot of silverware between these two rosters, but also that's years and years and years of experience at this level. Suzuki and Levy, I don't think were able to really light the world on fire in East Asia last year. I think they, fell pretty short. Obviously being on that Na'Vi team that kind of stumbled at that LCQ. But the addition of Chicago.
No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. No gain.
It's a great Zeta draft. Humble had the workaround, but if they don't have the start in this third game, it can go back to the way it was when we came into this series.
But do they have an answer to this Nani arc? Especially with the healing that Luki's able to provide. It seems like there's no direct answer to it on the map.
They're body blocking the peeps, and their HP is enough, then they can tank them along the way, but it's the timing of Humble really to ensure some taps prior to that, to liaise with Semantic, to ensure that communication. And again, this blue star, this is how Zeta like to start. If they can stay firm, oh, and there's an extension of that lead as Suzuki finds Luki there as well. Bit of chewing on the right-hand side between Semantic and Suzuki too. He's gonna have to heal up, but this is not the start the Humble were looking for.
The Cookie Popper, you've got to respect it. When you see those ghosts come down, you've got to remember that the enemy, Gus has the ability to detonate them in a radius and to confirm that elimination. That was extremely brazen by Shitampo. Could easily have been sort of tapped down out of nowhere. He wants to take the TP yet again. Blast Beam connects on the boss, and it's an easy pickup. Here comes Levy. Semantic is in peak form right now and is being juked. He's trying to double it back with Levy spraying on him, trolling the utter disrespect from Zeta as they go to a 6-star lead.
Oh, that shielding was good for a while, but he was looking for Shitampo. Levy with 4 stars and the blue make a prime candidate for Humble. And then they can just find one more after that, but getting just one member of Zeta is going to be tough. A little bit of break, that left-hand side now. Luki finds Levy now as Boss goes in the left-hand side, gets the Hypnosis. Shitampo falls, and now they just need 4. And Levy is the person to fall! That is the perfect person to land the shots on! And now Humble have got the lead, but they've got to hold on for 20 seconds, and this push from Zeta is going to be brutal.
They're not going to give up the map for free, that's for sure. Grim and Frostbitten pop by Shitampo. He has a blast beat available. Looking in Boss's direction. Catches him with the roots. Still, the follow-up damage isn't there. And the walkie can't a little bit too slow. And Zeta Division come close. It's a close shave for Humble. But they look like they're going to get away with it. Suzuki drops in the final seconds. And Humble secure an important map win. Proving to themselves that they more than deserve to stand on such a stage against such opposition.
Humble fans, of course, loud as ever. And that's the kind of support that when we can hear it on the desk, you know, for damn sure the players can hear it on the stage. Poor Lumi. Poor Lumi. Still on a 0% win rate, right?
Yeah, in PSC games. And see just how scary it can be, but teams are so careful. They know if they're going to let Lumi through, or if they refuse not to pick her, there's always going to be a plan. I think the Nani is great here. There's not a sharpshooter that can really answer it. In fact, the Nani, of course, with Return to Sender, wins any long-range duel is so important. And in the same way that we saw Toxic Lotus leverage it, I think the Byron here is huge. Boss is set up so well, he's using all eyes on me. So it's basically impossible to escape him. If he supers in your direction and hits you with that gadget-empowered shot, you are going to get hypnotized.
I got to agree with you there on that Nani comment because it's like the #1 pick for Humble to have in their scrims had a 66% win rate. And in terms of the draft, it just gives you so much flexibility. You know, it deters away from the Piper. You're going to have a great time playing into that. If your opposition decide to draft it, then you've got the choice of playing a heavier counter or combining with your own comp. It really makes a lot of sense. Luki towards the end, though, very close to going down himself. That could have gone really crumbling down for EMEA there. So a little sigh of relief, some valuable momentum as well. But let's not forget ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves there. That was super, super close.
Very close. Much the same way as we saw Zeta Division matchup against SK. This map pool, honestly, is really technical, Ark. Our next map is going to be out in the open as we head to Knockout. The kind where there's a lot of different directions that you can sort of take these comps. We saw Elevate on this map previously, right? Try and make that Kenji work. A lot of those rounds came down to the wire. And the first question you always ask is, okay, you're looking to create an extra lane for yourself here. I think Angelo is going to be looked at very closely. Likely needs to be banned by Zeta Division, lest they give that one over.
Well, this is going to be really quite an interesting one for me because this was a very map that we had Humble play on yesterday. They brought in the Meg, and I was chatting to Kanan about that yesterday in the meet and greet, and that wasn't necessarily the game plan, but it worked out kind of well, and it's a very North American pick. I don't think it's necessarily one that many are considering here, but one that worked out well.
train! More tension, more energy, more footwork! Let's go! It's party time! Join the pain train! This is our moment! Oh my friend! Pain train! I will give you all my heart. Let's go! It's party time! Oh my friends! Emotional damage! For you all, emotional damage. Let's go! It's party time! Melody, this is our moment! I love you all! More passion, more energy, more footwork! Let's make this an unforgettable moment. Let's make this an unforgettable moment. Emotional damage. Time for a game-changing play. Time for a game-changing play.
Pop and chop! Can I kick it?
Worse than me!
Victory!
Worse than Mandy!
Hombre, mini
Woo! almost have it all.
People up. That's that interaction we're going to be watching very, very closely. With the Jaeyong in Decider sets has been pretty good so far today. Boss already pops that Weekend Warrior gadget for a bit of a damage boost.
The time for it. Absolutely straight out the gates. Humble playing Zeta now at their own game. The left-hand side now. Semantic whistling down to Tampo now, going to Dragon form. And surely a last stand pop there is, but then a great preemptive splash there from Luki to ensure a swift and early takedown. Last call as well, going to be horrific here, and everyone from Zeta falls. All three members of Humble now hunkered down with all the heals of that Barley pick, the hypercharge of Semantic. This is going to be very tough to push into for Zeta.
And I feel like this is history repeating itself again. Humble with a comp that's all about setting Semantic up with a disgusting amount of healing. Blue Super does get popped here. It allows Tampo some time on the point, but he's not that guy. His job is to actually go towards Humble's comp, not to gain them capture percentage. So Zeta Vision don't really catch up at all in that window. It is a hyper from Luki.
Levy as well, just surviving on, but it's going to take time for him to heal, and he's going to need support. He goes down regardless. Again, a last down pop is going to do very, very little. Humble have not faltered, not a single shred, and Zeta are in serious trouble because this comp is just not doing a thing. A mere scratch. The amount of heals, the speed of boss, everything working in synergy, and Humble just made that look easy. Moving on to match point, one game away from a grand finals appearance, and not only that, double EMEA potential.
What an elegant draft from Humble. They see Zeta Division's plan a mile off. They know they're stacking tanks and they're trying to make use of Lu, so they say, fine, we need a thrower. We also could use some more healing for Semantic. And those supers, those stunning blows from Semantic have been on point. Shitampo doesn't have a way to stop crowd control. Even if he's invulnerable, he can still be stopped in his tracks.
A good defense from Humble. Pushing themselves now back into this mid. Speed from Boss going out. Nuki there with the last call as well. Shitampo going to be caught off guard here. On his left-hand side, Semantic comes in, closes the gap. Shitampo can't go too on the aggressive here. He's got to heal up at some point. But Zeta have not got time on their side, not by a long shot. As Humble now approaching 50% already.
And Luki's uncontested. He is having the easiest game of his life arc. There is nobody there to put pressure on the Barley whatsoever. Semantic zones that left side of the map. There's a last call thrown in. It's a problem for the Lu, who's still coming back off spawn. See, Levy just has no way of getting involved in that fight. Man, what an utter outdraft here from Humble. Zeta Division have no good options. They have no answer here to this last pick thrower. And this could be curtains, folks. Shitampo seems to know it. The stunning blow comes on down. Levy's going to dance among the flickering flames of this Barley damage. And these three Humble guys still have a job to do in Dallas. It's a grand final spot. Signed, sealed, and delivered. A date with Destiny and their regional rivals, SK Gaming, for all the marbles.
EMEA have walked into North America, left their shoes on, spread mud all over the carpet. It's double down, Humble and SK. My goodness me, what a Brawl Cup. Unreal.
Crowd's been behind them the whole time, all the way. They've reminded us all just what they're capable of, but let's hear it from the man himself. Let's head to the stage, Barney and Semantic.
It's an EMEA final we have on our hands. Semantic, that final match, that final set, it kind of looked a little bit more comfortable. You kind of, Zeta have admitted that the draft has been where they faltered. You said if they get a good draft, they're more or less unstoppable. Do you feel like the draft was the difference maker?
On the first set, definitely not. I'm pretty sure they had draft. I mean, our Ollie was like completely useless in this matchup against Illumi. But we just, honestly, we played so good and we just outskilled them on first set. And then second and fourth, I'm pretty sure we had draft. So yeah, we got a draft, we got what we wanted, and we got the win.
Yes, you did indeed. Now, you know that you're going up against SK Gaming in the grand final. The EMEA regional slot has been secured. So what is this game for? Is it for pride? Is it for regional dominance? What is it for you?
It's just for honor, honestly. It's a rematch. It's a EMEA final. Why are you guys here? Just watch it online. Just watch EMEA. Honestly, EMEA on top. Yeah, it's just a rematch. We're playing for honor. We got a world slot, an LCQ slot, and it's just, yeah.
DreamHack Dallas, are you ready? Wake up! It's time for the match for the third place here. Either it's going to be Toxic Lotus or Zeta Division claim that coveted spot for the LCQ. For one of those regions, they only have one spot at LCQ. They don't have one for World Finals, so they definitely want to make it two of those. We also switched out our casters, brought in a fresh pair now, Kenny and Reddy. And I'm sure you had some highlights in the previous two matches already.
I mean, it was absolutely spectacular to watch. I had no idea that Toxic Lotus were going to bring this level of energy, impact, and drafting. What an unbelievable weekend from this underdog.
A very promising start, I might say, already.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Toxic Lotus really came out of the gate swinging. They gave SK the ride of their lives, and it almost could have culminated in a victory.
Took us a long time to get here. It's been an incredible weekend. GSL format for day one, and today we've been going through our top four, but it's going to be an EMEA grudge match in our grand final. But for now, still much to be decided. Two regions fighting for one LCQ spot.
Two regions, mainland China and East Asia. And let's have a look at what my dear colleagues have predicted here. Once again, pretty even. Only us two, though, think that Zeta Division can take it again. They have a world champion. Stetampo won in 2021. And still, you're all voting for mainland China to take this one.
We saw the drafts. They were on point for these guys today. They looked fantastic against SK. Expected front runners in the competition in their very first match of the day. If you're Toxic Lotus, though, you got to be aware of your position. You've only made it this far just now. Have to have that preparation in store for this third place match.
It's super fun to watch those guys. Toxic Lotus, I had an eye out for them this week already. In the scrims leading up to Friday, they had only one team against which they were positive with their scrims. Every other team has won more scrims than they lost against them. So I didn't really have them on my radar to win anything. But here they are, day number 3, and they're in the match for the third place.
I mean, who could have seen this coming? Honestly, just some sleeping giants waiting a long time for this opportunity. They've been the best in their region, and obviously the competition that they're playing against very different from the rest of the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah! Let's settle this, please.
Capabilities, all he can do is pump out that damage on the enemy safe.
An investment and some aggression coming in from State Division. They would love a bounce back. It's been a Cinderella run for Toxic Lotus this weekend, and now they're taking on the Titans of East Asia. Both of these squads shouldering an entire nation, an entire region behind them, yet there's only one spot available. Let's find out how it goes down here, Brawl Nation.
Off to the races. Engine shifting lanes over to mid. He doesn't want to take this matchup versus Bonnie. If he can afford to not give her super, then he will take that chance. Off onto the enemy safe, being cautious as well to use the gadget for additional damage. Doesn't matter if he gets hit by that nest egg. He's still going to be dealing so much damage. Not the greatest gadget in the world there for Suzuku, though. He needs to get much value as possible. Toxic Lotus still creating this aggression onto the enemy side. Engine completely ignoring this right lane.
This is close to his base races. We're going to get Miko off to the left-hand sideline, playing alongside Tox. Split screen here. So much going down. Suzuku diving in now. Shitampo in the faces of this high safe. Bounce back. 2-second recovery available. But Suzuku perfectly timed. State of Division penetrating the safe, decimated, and take game one.
This is the emphasis on base race that the region has placed on Heist. They are immediately going for the safe. We see Toxic Lotus trying to implement the same strategy. Avoid some of these lanes, don't feed super, just get to the enemy side. But you leave an unguarded Bonnie, especially Daryl, all by himself on the safe. That is a no-go. They need to adapt this strategy. We'll see if Engine decides to take this lane matchup once again. No, diverts over to the left side. They gotta keep someone on Daryl though, and it is not easy to shift these lanes.
Cut off with the gadget will allow TL to move forward. That's a takedown though. Now Engine bouncing his way up the middle of the map, but they've left Daryl on the other end. They're willing to take this trade, and already below 25%. Miko still lingering. Marker goes down, and finally a takedown imminent. State of Division finally with a little bit of control here. Shitampo on that bottom left-hand side just gonna be chilling, dealing with OU.
O is trying to play a defender here. He needs to stay in range of Suzuku so that he can get some value. Actually completely departing it. Engine now popping right over Suzuku's head. They must know that they have the mathematics down. It's 50-49. Zeta Division are continuing to take damage on their safe. Engine left all alone. That's a tremendous amount of damage every single time. 43-60 on the safe, down to its last legs.
It's gonna come down to these aggro brawlers and a little bit of defense. State of Division hold, and on the other end, Toxic Lotus get a takedown as well. Little extra range coming out of Bell in the mid. And now this battle taking place right in the middle of the map. Gonna matter so much. Whoever can break away first, and it's Suzuku. Shitampo diving in. It's back and forth though. They get it! 2% on the board. It's enough to take a set.
Zeta Division know exactly when to pull the trigger. But they escape by the skin of their teeth right there. Miko was ready with one more devastating blow onto the safe. That very much could have gone to the side of Toxic Lotus. Zeta Division persevere nonetheless. Daryl was exactly what they needed. There was nothing really that Toxic Lotus could do to defend against it, and they weren't willing to expend O to defend against it solo.
I think a key here is looking at Engine versus Suzuku's stats. Obviously, Miko has been a featured brawler for Toxic Lotus this entire week, and you're going to see at the bottom left, 61,000+ damage, but Daryl has doubled it. I mean, you just can't match that. We have a little chunk coming in from Bonnie. Bell, obviously, just mainly there for control. The bounce shots on defense, the marker onto Miko, bringing him down faster. Zeta Division just had 3 brawlers executing their roles really well. It's not that Toxic Lotus played poorly, but the mechanics out of Zeta Division, it's hard for anybody on the planet to match.
It's a risk that Toxic Lotus took here by picking Miko not as a last pick, because you can out DPS the Miko. The benefit of playing the Miko is that you get pretty steady, constant damage. You're going to get that super eventually. That's a lot of transportation across the battlefield. but Zeta Vision knew just what to do into it. Yesterday, we didn't see the proper response into the Miko. Now, with Heist out of the way, I think Zeta Vision can breathe a little bit because this was a Toxic Lotus specialty in the last several days.
Definitely a nice momentum swing. I mean, just knowing that you kind of take down what's been one of their best assets definitely makes you a little more comfortable as you approach set number 2. We're heading over to Brawl Ball. Completely different. It's going to be a little pinhole punt for us. Still anticipating brawlers like Lumi and Kenji to probably be removed from the picture here, but there's other ones. I feel like there's a lot of anti-tank and tank. Those are kind of the two boundaries that I feel like really dictate these draft stages.
Something that we saw Zeta Vision make pretty good use of yesterday was tanks on Brawl Ball. And even in a losing draft, they were able to mechanics their way out of it somehow. You've heard what Levy and Suzuku say about Shitampo. It seems like in any moment, doesn't matter if it's a losing situation, he figures something out. In Zeta Vision, I think that's the expectation that precedes them coming into this. We should expect the tanks, the anti-tanks as a response, of course, from Toxic Lotus. But for Zeta Vision to somehow find a way to make it work.
He truly is a magician. Never a job that he hasn't been able to accomplish. One of the best players to ever do it. Been a while since he's had a world championship, though. This year, departing Crazy Raccoon, which is an insane statement to make. A choice to depart this roster and picking up these two players here, and now they're finding themselves very successful this week into 3rd, 4th place at battle, and a possibility of bringing home an LCQ spot for the region. Band stage going to come through here. Like we mentioned, Kenji, Lumi in the equation. Some of those anti-tank brawlers, some of those long-range ones, more unique. B could be in the picture. Going to see here on the top left an interesting El Primo band. Finks doesn't surprise me, but Kenji did escape.
Kenji's not in there. Neither is Lily, some of the more powerful brawlers in the game with their recent addition of hypercharges. That means that Zeta Vision is giving this to Toxic Lotus, saying, yeah, sure, pick it if you want. We have some kind of response for it, and they had that last pick as well. They've made things available to themselves as well. But Toxic Lotus getting rid of the Primo tells me that they want to have Frank in their composition somehow. They're going to have that ability. They're also working with some side lane abilities where they can place some kind of thrower. Kenji's going to get that aggression. Zeta Vision gave this to them, mind you. They didn't ban it out. They have a response planned.
And on top of that, Toxic Lotus banning B and Lu is going to allow tanks and aggressive brawlers like Kenji to do better. Those are two of the better ways to deal with them. However, with El Primo out of the picture, like you mentioned, now Frank has a little more viability. I think Hank definitely has some leg to stand on with Lu and B being out of the picture. Sometimes you're going to see Shade come in the mix. I'm going to keep my eye out later down the road for Zeta Division. Usually takes a perfect draft, and some of those counters that I would say people are used to seeing into that are still out there, so I'd be a little hesitant. Draco makes a lot of sense. I think that's also a direct answer into the possibility of Hank going back on the other side. A lot of these pro players are going to use Draco into a Hank directly, so I think this is a lot of thinking ahead.
This is very true. They're also going to pick up Chester, which is one of the best ways to deal with really any tank, but especially Hank. You can blow up those walls that he requires in order to get the most damage possible. Toxic Lotus now looking for their response. They got to be cautious of this Draco, since Draco, he is going to die a bunch, okay? Let's face that. But that also means that he's going to be feeding quite a bit of damage to Kenji. That's going to get him closer to cycling that hypercharge. We're looking at a situation where Kenji's probably going to get like 2 hypercharges this game, and each one of those threatens to be a total team wipe.
Indestructible gadget, never hurt anybody either, especially when Kenji is in the air diving straight at you with that hypercharge. There's the Frank, so a great call out from you, especially with that band stage and the El Primo. It's something you just have to keep your eye on. When you see weird bands like this, El Primo, a great brawler, shows up all the time in Brawl Ball. By no means an S-tier brawler. So I think sometimes these pro players are thinking that far ahead. That's a brawler they want to prioritize. They want to set themselves up for that. And the fact that Toxic Lotus grabbed that without the hardest counter into Frank in the game definitely helps. However, on the other end, they've still got Chester. There's still options available for Zeta Division. Obviously, they get the last laugh. They get the 6th pick. Charlie, wow, a really spicy one here. I mean, Toxic Lotus certainly going for it.
Charlie's going to be spawning those spiders, which should absorb some of those shots from Draco when he's not on the dragon form. Same goes for Chester, who's a single target brawler. His shots don't pierce. Zeta Division with one final selection, perhaps a response to that Charlie. Got to be cautious because her super is a goal scoring scenario. That hypercharge is also super powerful. Buster now going to be coming into the equation. He's got a stun that can be pretty useful for maybe pulling a Kenji away from your team if he's threatening a hypercharge. Same goes for Frank, whose main weakness is stuns, even though he gives out stuns himself. And also the potential to stay together as a team. We know that Zeta Division are a very team fight.
Goal! Victory!
and maybe a kill for Levy if he decides to go around the left side, which he doesn't. Opts to come around to the right side for a better matchup. Now shifting over towards the left, and here comes the Dragon combined with a super from Suzuku. A pass over Levy with a jawbreaker. Take down Tak, the next to fall. If Shitetampo keeps on pursuing the egg on the left side, Levy down, and now the counter push from Toxic Lotus.
Super available. OU on the left hand in. Moving right. Shitampo now going back into the Dragon form. It's a duel. Kenji, complete miss there. Suzuku with a juke and a dodge. Now Shitampo trying to deal with the hypercharge. Cuts the corner just in time, but Levi in trouble. He's going to fall. Dribble up the middle of the map. OU popping hypercharge just to try and get something going. Nicely done there. Cuts them off. A pass off, and they will survive this onslaught.
Excellent defense from Toxic Lotus there with the use of the Charlie super. She's going to be respawning soon, and she could not be needed any more time than now, since Engine is ready to move with his hypercharge and super combined. Going to look for the team wipe. One, looking for two on a Suzuku. Just needs a little bit more. Sucks him in. Gets another. Levy now out with the hypercharge. Tak stuck in the midst of it. Levy now in hot pursuit. Another cycled super for the guy. Engine and O still alive, holding this line of scrimmage at mid. Ball is anyone's game. Just waiting to find that first kill.
So much blood being shed on this Brawl Ball map right now. Red roster taking control of the ball. It's Tak playing defense on the left-hand side. OU, Cocoon gets taken over, and Zeta Division are trying to force it in. Kenji not enough at the net, and Suzuku will put one in.
Still 45 seconds to go. That's enough time for Engine to get a second hypercharge for the game, and for Tak to do something similar. Has a hypercharge at his disposal. Gonna pop it now. Looks for as much value as possible. Suzuku gonna block it. Shitetampo couldn't be bothered. A takedown, and now a 2v2 ensues. O sticks down the Cocoon. Suzuku breaks out Levy, and now Zeta Division are in a firm defensive maneuver. There's still a little bit of time. 25 seconds. That's enough time for Engine to get something huge with a hypercharge. Levy almost gonna be taken down. Shitetampo falls. Team wipe for Toxic Lotus in a tied game.
15 on the clock. An excellent execution out of Toxic Lotus. Chinese mainland's heroes looking to duel against the East Asian beast, and it's Shitampo, Suzuku, left hand in, marching forward. Levi with the ball, kick over. Stun goes through though. Tak has wiped the map. Team wipe available. Kick forward. Charlie up the middle of the map, and it's a goal for Toxic Lotus. Game number 1 going to the blue roster.
Toxic Lotus is here. They had that tankiness. They were given the Kenji. They executed perfectly. They got the Kenji hypercharge exactly when they needed to. But it was not without resistance. Zeta Division did such a phenomenal job of keeping the Chester in position. They're going to place him on the right side this time. Engine on the left lane is already trying to get some opening frags. He's going to get right on top of Shitampo at risk of falling. Super to the sky. That's one onto Levy. Shitampo in the back lines looking for the kill onto O. But Engine is undefended. Shitampo hot on his heels, but an open goal if Engine can slot it through. No! Interception from Levy and a successful defense.
Back to the middle of the map we go. A huge battle going down here. Tak right hand in, just using this indestructible wall. Engine, just not enough time there to put it in the net. It was close, a good effort, worth a try. And he will survive all of this. Now Tag's going down to Shitampo. Here's a shield to block it out, perfectly denied. Tak fighting for his life on the right-hand side, but left is where they need help most. Suzuku, an easy walk forward, and they'll watch this one in.
Ran down the clock a little bit there too. Zeta Division could be intent on keeping this ball defended and not necessarily playing for that second goal unless the opportunity presents itself. Already defensive formation from the guys, but they have a couple of supers at their disposal. Combination on the left side. Levy has the super available, but here's the hypercharge out from Engine. 1, 2, Shitampo needs to fall. Tak forward with the super. No wall break, but an open goal and a tied game once more.
The equalizer is there. A reset in the mid. Hypercharge is available. Suzuku pops his now. Zeta Division walking this forward on the map. Engine's been a star player on this excellent brawler. Now he'll make contact with Levi. Now on the left-hand in. Tak trying to play defense. Gadget goes through. Shitampo not even worried about the ball. It's Charlie who denies him. He's going to be sitting there on the goal line just waiting. Engine going to have to multitask here. It's going to take everything they have, and it's not enough. Zeta Division tie things here.
What a close call. The Charlie was seriously putting in the work on defense, but was unable to keep it all hammered down. You're able to stick one enemy in the Cocoon, but when it comes to burst damage, she's simply lacking. She only has one projectile to work with. She's much better than some of these long-range matchups, which are going to ensue right now as everyone spawns out in the open. Tak looking for the opening kill. Could not land that gadget. He's still going to get some damage on Suzuku, but Suzuku fires back. A ball passed towards Zeta Division's inner ramparts, but a full team wipe from Zeta Division gets them a free goal.
Really early bucket coming out of Zeta Division. Now just 20 seconds off the clock, and Toxic Lotus already finding themselves in a deficit. Kenji taking to the skies, lands. Suzuku forcing it forward. Hypercharge goes through, and Talk rendered useless. They only have one cocoon. The pull goes through, though, and Satampo knocks it down. 2-zip now for the East Asian Wizards.
What an efficient finish here in set number 2 for Zeta Division. Much better outlook for Toxic Lotus. They had that tankiness, but it required time to transpire. They needed to get those hypercharges online. Draco was simply the method that Zeta Division knew would be able to defend that Kenji. They gave them the Kenji for free, knowing that they could respond with a Draco, and oh my goodness, he did put in the work.
12 kills for Engine and a couple buckets alongside it. It's a well-fought battle. I mean, Kenji, arguably the best brawler in the game. I think depending on the player you're looking at, they're probably throwing Kenji in that mix, Lumi in that mix. And he did his job, just not quite enough against what Zeta Division is. It's tough for any team on the planet to fight the mechanics with these guys. It did feel like an even battle, though. I mean, in terms of draft, in hindsight, maybe we could reflect on it a little more after the fact, but I don't think this is too shabby from either end. I think the Buster Shield honestly got so much value into the Frank Super, which makes sense why it came in as that 6th pick.
No doubt, it was one of the most instrumental things in Zeta Division's success here. It got them right up in the face of Frank. He wasn't able to get any value out of his super. We did see some pretty successful moments out of Toxic Lotus, however. These moments right here, Engine in with a hypercharge. The pass up to him and Talk hot on his heels gave Toxic Lotus a pretty firm lead there in the second game that ended up going to them. In game number 3, though, this was Zeta Division seriously stepping on the gas. 2 rapid goals, one right after the other, and so much wind in their sails heading into a set 3.
This isn't the first time Toxic Lotus have stared into the eyes of death. Now down 2 sets to 0. And obviously the biggest match of their season yet. They've beaten South America, North America. They've challenged EMEA. But right now, they have to take down their neighbors in East Asia. It's the only way that they're going to give themselves an extra tournament life for their region. Plenty of teams back home with them, itching at the opportunity to prove themselves. And they're going to have to deliver here. Going to be a tall task, to say the least.
Some of the teammates that Shitetampo departed as well, undoubtedly rooting for him. It would get them a spot in the postseason if they can only get this next set. Gold Arm Gulch, that's going to be a major slowdown compared to our last couple of modes. Heist, super fast pace. Brawl Ball, gone in the blink of an eye. But Knockout, this one comes down to when the poison forces everyone to interact, and it's all about that preparation. Composition-wise, there are some different routes that you can take. Are you going to place that emphasis on burst damage and try and get a pick before the team fight, or are you going to look to outlast?
Lots of decisions here for both of these teams. A very important draft coming in for Toxic Lotus. They need to get this one right. It's hard to go against Zeta Division with even footing. If you win the draft, you at least give yourselves a chance. Toxic Lotus have won plenty of them this weekend. I still have hopes for these guys, but it's just hard for me to unsee Chitampo always finding a way. I mean, he's been at it for years on the Mount Rushmore of brawlers. And here are the band stage. Lumi, of course, not going to be in the picture. Jean, somebody that I like removing just because it's so pesky to deal with. The poke damage, the magic hand, the magic touch.
Forking me. I'm done. Forking me. I'm done.
He will lose it this time, especially since TOC has that hypercharge now, which he can use in a pinch. But here comes OU. Once again, the one-man army going for shit. Tompo, the heart of the operation, comes up empty-handed. Talk and Engine are going to have to generate a victory here. Excellent dodges out from Levy, and a hypercharge earned.
A 3v2 is catastrophic for any team. It's so hard, especially with such an early loss. They're not even dealing with the fog yet. It's TL just pinned to this left-hand side, Zeta Division, with plenty of space in the middle to operate, going for that long-range connection there. The windup just does so much damage. Don't blame them for running that at all.
Suzuki's ready with the hypercharge. Levy holding on to the hypercharge. They would prefer to use it in the next round since they are fighting a 3v2 right now. Talk and Engine both retreating into the poison, feeding no super at all. Even a takedown onto Shtetamo, a bit of super earned for Toxic Lotus to use in round number 3. Zeta Division need to be cautious around this Daryl. It has threatened them over the water twice, once on the bottom side and once on the top. But last time, it looked like an error from OU. He was so far estranged from his team that he wasn't able to receive any support from them when he found himself in a sticky situation on the top side.
Daryl, I think, has had some solid interactions, but especially in that round 2 is a little sloppy, and the first one ended up taken down too. I think this is just really intelligent out of Zeta Division. They're playing together. They know they're looking for a surprise attack, so instead, they're just going to work as a full unit. Great comms coming out of Zeta Division, especially in that round 2.
Zeta Division waiting for their perfect opportunity to strike. They need to hold on here. They opted not to double stack the left lane this time, instead retreating to the same thing they went for in round number 1. The most huge difference between those two is that now they have a couple of hypercharges under their belt. They're still going to be staring down the barrel of Talk's potential in that super, especially if he can get closer to a hypercharge. But that poison is on a timer right now. It is going to be closing in any second from the top and eventually from the sides. OU needs to get this hypercharge online ASAP. Already Suzuki in with a hypercharge, looking for the pull on Talk. No, taken down. Shtetamo still alive. Engine now closing in for the 1v1 versus Levy in close range. Is it possible? Just a couple of shots from Levy. He can tank this. That's the windup. One more to shut down Engine. Zeta Division at match point.
Oh, just a little ring around the rosies. And Squishy Squeak gets away with one there. They're too good at the game, man. Especially if a draft is relatively even. They always are in it, always. We've talked the praises of Shtetamo all weekend long for the legacy that he has in this game, but his teammates, these are the ones he chose to play with. They're certainly qualified to get a win too.
Different approach once more from Toxic Lotus. They're going to all go on the left. Zeta Division coming on the left. Wow, what a mistake. Oh, with the initial kill. 3v2 ensues. Zeta Division in a losing position. OU, the one-man army, goes for another. Soon to be taken down by Shtetamo if he can finish off the kill. Just needs one more shot. No! Engine closes in for a round 1 to Toxic Lotus.
Reset, and the entire blue roster going to head to the left-hand side. Traditionally the safer one, but they're getting sneaky. Levy gonna pop out here, but they don't know that Buster is lurking, trying to do their adequate scouting report. They don't want a sneak attack coming their way.
Here comes O. Not so sneaky. He's got one more roll in the chamber. Might even opt to waste it so that he can get a better one. Combined with his hypercharge. Staying on the back lines for now. And yes, he did decide to waste the super so he can work on getting a real one. And there is enough time until the poison closes in for him to get that. The lack of threat is going to hurt Toxic Lotus. Talk is taking a lot of damage, but he's managed to hold on. Now Zeta Vision go for a different formation. They're sending Shitetampo on the left side. Suzuku and Levy, of course, have to stay together.
This song is for you all! Like the rhythm of your heart! Let's go! It's party time! More passion, more energy, more footwork. Emotional damage. Defeat. I love you all! Oh, my friends!
Let's make this an unforgettable moment.
This is our moment! Defeat!
Raved about before it became popular and came online. Now Suzuku's going to be picking it up. Zeta Vision are going to be running this on the lane. It is so strong, and it's actually a really good reaction to the Tara, because the Tara can't really accurately pull you. It's going to slow down any projectile, and yes, that Tara super is a projectile. It must land on the ground first.
Whoa, another Squeak pick here. This is an interesting call, I think, especially this early on in the draft, just because Squeak can be really squishy. I mean, now Toxic Lotus can make 2 selections here, try and counter that out. I imagine Toxic Lotus are going to want some form of health points, whether that's a really aggressive brawler, whether that's a tank. I'm curious to see what their spin on this situation is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those that's just going to be good into Tara. I think we're looking at 2 lanes that are great against Tara. I'm curious whether Zeta Vision will opt to run one of these at mid. There's potential to run some unorthodox things at mid, and since Zeta Vision had that last pick, but they haven't gone for the mid yet, that tells me that they are thinking of something quite crafty. Lily, now sneaking in, going to be going for the bushes, also has that hypercharge that realms an enemy when it makes contact, also gets to bounce as well. A bit of an interesting thing that you don't really get to see used often, and on such an open map, might not get to see it come into play. But nonetheless, now we have to see the mid selection from Toxic Lotus, unless they decide to run that Elevate Cheese that we saw yesterday with the Rosa. It didn't work, by the way, so just a side note. But a mid selection for Toxic Lotus, they're going to be going for that, Max.
I think it just made sense as a 2-3 turn. Great pairing with Tara. Lily just into Squeak especially. That's what I was talking about with an early Squeak selection. Now we have Toxic Lotus that get time to think on it, react to it. And this is one of the better brawlers. It's not an easy one to play necessarily, especially into those long-range contact. But once she kind of gets going, gets that first super cycled, and then, gosh, once that hypercharge goes out, I mean, what is a poor Squeak supposed to do, especially with some super speed on the map?
Well, he's going to receive some assistance from Buster, and we saw the Buster and the Squeak stay side by side on our last map. Zeta Division, they love to just stick to the same stuff and run it on every single map. If they are afforded that possibility, they will. They're going to be running this Buster and Squeak combo once more. So who is their mid is really the question of the day. They have some versatility in that regard, but against Toxic Lotus's Max, they are at risk of feeding, getting pressured back as well. This one's going to be a mechanical masterpiece in my mind.
Certainly a fun one here. Set 4 underway. Toxic Lotus finally with a little momentum on their side. An Engine popping that gadget early. He's going to pop up right in front of Suzuku. A teleport back. Shitampo there to save the day.
Totally unexpected by the looks of things for the Lily. Usually you can't get away with running directly towards the backlines, but Shitampo had the response. Now repositioning from Engine on the left side. Not going to expend that super just yet, and Suzuku is waiting on the left side. Meanwhile, a total melee going down at the hands of Levy on the right side. A takedown onto O, who really doesn't have many good matchups here.
Toxic Lotus just haven't managed to find a kill, and of course, one Tara pull can change everything here, but they're going to need some max speed, something to force them up the map. An Engine gadget just kind of forced early. He's hiding in this grass, pops up, and there's the counter matchup that we're looking for. Squeak handling it well, but now she has a hypercharge at the ready.
This is huge. Going to be looking to get something onto Finks, who can teleport away unless he's placed in that Shadow Realm. This is going to be the key to victory. Engine needs to hit this ability, and as a result, Zeta Division are bunching together. They have Suzuku to block a shot if necessary. Here comes Shitampo with gem number 8, but now the speed in from Tok. Engine looking for the perfect opportunity. Pops the hypercharge. Super deflected. Utility wasted, but pressure is still online.
Great response there from Zeta Division, but they're still on the defensive. Plenty gems in their pocket. Engine gonna pop up here in a moment's notice. Grabs one. Shitampo. Oh, so low HP, but he will survive.
Tok now trying to create the pressure once more. Gonna pop the speed on himself solo. Not even anything onto OU. But a countdown interruption is good. Number 10 for Shitampo not available. It's been completely denied. Toxic Lotus with the pressure as well. They could get another Lily hypercharge. with envy of that spot this entire time. So happy to see Zeta Vision take down Toxic Lotus in this last matchup. But man, did Toxic Lotus put on a show. We have never seen mainland China be this good. And there were some buzzer beater moments there.
So much to take note of from this team. And the fact that this weekend was this region's first ever best of 5 win. I mean, who would have thought? The Brawl Cup. I didn't believe in them coming into this. Most of the folks at home didn't, so credit to those who did. Incredible stuff so far. I'm sure the region was pulling for them, but nonetheless, I mean, so much pride, so much emotion coming out of these guys. It's really special to see that human element from them.
And not gonna lie, when Toxic Lotus won that set 3, I had a little fear for Zeta Division. It wouldn't be the first time they take it to a 5th and last set. It was a reverse sweep against Loud. Now they almost, or at least started a reverse sweep against Zeta Division as well. Shtampo is going to be our MVP for this match. I think he took that role or that title every single time we had the MVP vote for this roster.
I mean, you can't really argue with it. He's one of the greats of Brawl Stars. His teammates even regard him as one of the most fantastic players in Brawl Stars. He has democratized the roster. Everything that he is doing as a team leader seems to be working.
And we're gonna have one more view at the bracket before our grand finals. Zeta Division takes that spot number 3. Toxic Lotus is 4th. And now we're ready for SK Gaming versus Humble.
I mean, it's kind of insane. This is our first North American event in a while here ready, and yet it's 2 EMEA squads. It's been a tough week for the PR department, I'll tell you what.
That's definitely true. We're going to give you all a little breather. We definitely need it here at the desk after this exciting nail biter that we just witnessed. And I'm very sure the next one is going to go all the way one more time. It's an EMEA special, basically a monthly final. SK Gaming versus Humble.
One thing that people probably don't know is that I'm not fully German, but that my both parents come from Kosovo. So I'm actually like roots from Albania. The closest I am is probably to a 3rd and 9. I'm 4th and 9, so my bigger sister. And I went with her as well to London to the Pokemon European Championship. That was a lot of fun, honestly. First time in London as well. It's really, really cool. It was a really fun experience, and my sister's also someone who enjoys playing games a lot like me. I think I have been pretty competitive my whole life, and any other game that I touched, I basically became top of the leaderboard, and that's not even like willing to go for it. And then when I stumbled upon Brawl Stars, just because of the Superstar universe from Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, I just wanted to be good at it, then the best at it, the best in Germany at it, and then suddenly I became best of Europe at it, and actually the best in the world. So I think it's just my drive to compete and to be the best in the game that keeps me playing the game, and the joy of the game as well. I never lose a joy to Brawl Stars. I'm always happy to play it, and yeah, that's why I just love it so much.
Brawl Stars fans around the world watching here live from the DreamHack Dallas or from home, I hope you're ready for the grand final. It's time for another EMEA match here. We have basically a monthly final.
Down in Dallas, we've just come in as a region and just embarrassed North America. I love it.
Playing against Humble in the final would be really interesting, but we already faced them twice this year, and I hope we can three-peat it this time.
I don't think that Humble have really been tested yet this tournament. I think there's obviously great expectation on this team as world champions, but they've been shown to be fallible in their home region by teams just like SK Gaming. I think they need to prove themselves again to the world that they truly can stand at the pinnacle of Brawl esports.
SK Gaming in the grand finals. Is this Brawl Cup? Is this an MSI? Or is this another EMEA monthly finals? Looking forward to them to face them once again, and we're a big stage now in the LAN. So yeah, maybe we get our revenge this time. Let's see.
The time has come, an EMEA Grand Final. This one's for pride and to be crowned most dominant in the region. DreamHack Dallas, go crazy for your first finalist. It's SK Gaming. It's Joker, Ope, and Yoshi. And their opponents are Humble. Luki and Semantic!
DreamHack Dallas, are you ready for the grand final of the Brawl Cup? Whoever takes this one is the first ever champion. The title Brawl Cup has never been won before. And there's still that coveted world final slot on the table. Who will bring it home to EMEA? Is it gonna be SK Gaming or Humble? Humble so far didn't drop a single set. Yes, they did against Data Division, but only one set down. Let's throw it to the stage. Barney, take it away.
Semantic. Joker, if we take the monthly finals into consideration, okay, as we rightly should, this is SK to maintain dominance or Humble out for revenge. Joker, Humble are coming for you with this one. Is this going to be the same story as earlier this year?
We will do our best that it's finished the same.
I like that. Out for revenge, possibly. How are the team feeling going into this match?
We just take the second place. That's fine. They can have it.
A competitive mindset, I like it. Shake hands if you want to. I like that. It's an EMEA Grand Final. Take your places. Let's get it on. It's time for the Grand Final. Let's do it.
Many sweeps from both of them. SK takes the first monthly final in EMEA against Humble 3-0. And Humble, this tournament has been their rush through the competition. Every other team from any other continent didn't really put anything up against them. 3-0 against Toxic Lotus, 3-0 against Loud, and then 3-1 against Data Division. Humble is looking very fierce. Can the German powerhouse here, SK Gaming, put anything up against them this weekend?
Very on brand from Semantic there too, saying he's going to lose. I think he's said that constantly. I think he's been throwing shade on the event website too. There's been people betting against them all weekend long. Brawl Nation is more intelligent than that, folks. There's no reason why they can't win this one as well.
You can't just unjinx it. He's really giving his best effort to say that he's not going to win in an effort to keep himself humble and be the underdogs coming into this matchup, which they certainly have been. 2 second places in the monthly finals this year, now possibly culminating in a breaking of curses.
We have 2 coaches on stage here, Pedro and Kanan, helping out their rosters. And with those brains behind their draft, we're heading into our first one very soon. First up though, the predictions from the people at home. And it's pretty clear that SK has brought 6% more fans to this one.
It's always a good sign when the final match of our tournament is this close in predictions. Yes. I think the people at home, just like us, truly don't know what to believe. Humble obviously coming into this. The scrim's perfect. It's so reminiscent of the run last year. 0 monthly finals wins till about halfway in the season where they finally claimed one. This year, 0 monthly finals wins, but they dominated at the World Finals run.
After 2 days of Brawl Cup already, with this grand final, we have a pretty good idea of the meta so far. We have Hank, Finks, a couple of those brawlers that show up in every single match so far, but then we have a couple of outliers from those two teams specifically. We had a Pam, a Shade, and a Daryl from SK Gaming. Nobody else played a Daryl before. And then we had Mac, Clancy, and Jae Young, a couple of those signatures from Humble.
Hyper-intelligent picks just have to be an expectation at this time. Gray, the first selection here on Hard Rock Mine, is a very strong brawler, but it's a bit untraditional in terms of what you usually see in a first pick from Hard Rock Mine, though keep in mind, Humble have gotten rid of simply the best brawlers in the game, a couple with good hypercharges, and then of course there's Lumi topping the leaderboards in terms of ban rate. Usually this would communicate that a team doesn't have a plan. There's not a doubt in my mind that Humble has planned out so many different possibilities, so now it's really a mystery as to what they're going for.
Big brains on both of these teams, and Gray as that first overall selection. Just a safety net to try and get you a teleport plus tank, but there's so many of them removed, of course. I mean, Kenji is more of an aggro, if you will. Lily, of course, an assassin, but Hank, just so much beef to him. Janet on this right-hand end, such a safety net. Obviously, the visibility is a big reason why she's going to show up here. And of course, being just invincible when she's flying through the skies makes her a perfect candidate to be a gym carrier.
Hypercharge is super strong. I'm looking at a turret that can be thrown down on the ground to block a Gray pull. These players have excellent reaction times. There's not a doubt in my mind that that is going to be utilized to deter some of the hooks from Gray. Nita now coming in. This is unorthodox as well. It does have some pressure if it can place down in some of these lanes as well. I anticipate that maybe the Nita could be here to deter some like tank action on the lanes. One of the expectations for me seeing this Janet is the ever-looming threat of Buster that he can bring to one of these lanes. So Humble are safeguarding themselves against tanks quite early on in the draft. They don't want to risk the 4-5.
Well, now SK Gaming are in a little bit of a pickle here because they wanted to get something cheesy like a Rosa up there or something like a Jackie. Well, it's going to run a little more of a risk, right? Because Nita's already been selected so early. Carl hasn't shown up quite as much as I would say with past months, but the Incendiary is still good. I think especially with these close quarters and no wall break really so far out of maybe a walking cane with a little perfect precision. You know, he's going to be able to throw down these shots rather quickly. Reload speed, obviously in the open range, something of a concern for Carl, but you kind of remove that with this map.
Carl's going to be a pretty solid lane into both the Nita and into the Janet, though we've already seen the mid selection out here from Humble. It's likely going to be that Janet. She's quite strong there. And the last pick is best reserved for a tank. Here comes Frank, and that's what the Nita's there for, to keep this Frank safe. Frank into the Jackie as well is going to have the damage to take her down. When I look at SK Gaming's composition, interestingly, it almost tells me a lack of confidence. If you're running the Gray Jackie here, that's a cheese strat here on Hard Rock Mine. And they don't feel confident in playing the control matchup.
Only one banner remains here at the Brawl Cup, EMEA. Battle of Regions has now turned into a civil war. It's round 3, SK Gaming versus Humble. Give it up, DreamHack Dallas. Let's get this grand finals going.
Ope immediately establishing the pressure at mid. Luki, expert dodges. So all of these shots coming from every single angle. The synergy now between Ope and Joker. A hook onto Luki, who now has to retreat. Semantic on the right side needs to break this wall as soon as possible. The more damage he takes, the closer he gets to this super. On the left side, Joker also cleaving through some of these walls onto Boss, who's been dropped down to just 1 HP. Takedown for Ope, who's now got the teleport set up for Jackie.
Teleport perfectly established as well, and Jackie just lurking on this top right-hand side. There's a little reveal. Luki going for the jump. So he's going to be getting out of harm's way very easily with just the click of a green button.
Semantic retreated, but he has moved over to the left side where he has a more optimal matchup. It's challenging for Joker to punch through all of this HP, but he's going to use the walls as much as possible. Hypercharge in from Ope. Initial damage onto Luki, and the pinch could be coming down from Jackie, but they're not going to exercise their hand just yet. Semantic now taken down, and the pinch on the bottom side. Now, Yoshi at risk of being taken down. It's absolute chaos in terms of the matchups. Things have been flipped left to right instead of top to bottom, and SK Gaming are profiting.
Well, they finally removed the little parasite in their back spawn. Joker with a little stat boost, though. Incendiary goes down. Now he's rushing right at Semantic and gets a kill there. Right hand in. Boss, Luki, all alone. Yoshi with the pull. Luki has to jump away. Perfect prediction, though. Tanky Jackie now off to the races on the right hand in. Boss there to counter. And all the gems extend back into the hands of Humble.
Ope has a retreat route. He has the super if he needs it, and he might need it now. Teleport over to the right side in the hypercharge. Luki laying down as much damage as possible, but here comes Yoshi, popping that hypercharge for additional speed. Semantic looks for the stun, can't get around the indestructible. Teleport over to the left side. Now you see me, now you don't. Now back to the respawn, and 15 to go for Humble to interrupt.